Here's our process for changing the oil in the Caterpillar 3208 diesel engine. All right, so we already just ran the engine. It's warm oil. There's a reverso oil change system on it, and I just have to reach over here on the port side of the engine, open up a valve, which is a plumbed hose from the bottom of the engine. It runs back here to our reverso oil change system. Here's a filter still from the generator. We just changed that. My rags. Main engine, I'll open this up here. So now it's open at the engine. It's open up here at the reverso. Got an empty oil container. Take the lid off here. Our reverso. Suction hose. I'll take the end cap off. And this should all be primed. Last time we had to prime it, but since I just ran it through the generator, I'm hoping it picks up suction right away. So here we go. I'm going to turn on the drain. As you can see, it's pumping now pretty quick. Once it gets up to the top, I'll shut it off. We'll switch over to another container. And we're running 250 hours on our oil changes here. We have the external filter. It's a Gulf Coast filter. It's a very large filter that extends oil life. It really cleans out the impurities. Oil is relatively clean. On the dipstick, it's still golden. Of course, on the bottom of the pan, it's black. But I think it really does a pretty good job. So I've extended the oil changes 50 hours. We can put 200 hours on it pretty quick when we're cruising. Okay, there's 1 gallon out. There's 2 gallons. Alright, again, that gives me an idea how much I filled these over where the normal 4 quarts would be. So I took them probably 4.5 quarts each. So we're looking at 9 quarts between the two. The main filter, again, that thing held about 3 quarts or more itself with all the piping. And again, I don't like to use this to suck in new oil, so we'll top fill the engine with new oil. And the big thing is taking these filters off the back. This coil up, I need to clean it a little bit better.
Alright, so these are the hours that's on your engine here.
Yeah, so right now we changed the oil and these filters at 8460. Right now we have 86.
Oh, I just
80.
close that off. You don't need that, do you?
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna move your phone out of the way.
Just shy of 250 hours.
Alright, so I see the filters, 2 filters there. They're got the gold Napa filters, 1268, 1268 for the Caterpillar engine. They're over here sitting.
Alright, so it's an external oil filter housing. Makes it a lot easier to change oil filters from here than on the side of the engine. Problem here though is this whole casing is full of oil. So as the oil comes in, goes through the filters and it comes back out. So these are 2 oil filter things. So when I take these filters off, oil is going to purge out of these.
So you're gonna put the you're gonna put the bag underneath them?
Yeah, so I'm gonna crack them loose.
Okay, so you're gonna open them a little bit and then get the bag underneath it to help catch as much as you can.
Okay, so that one is loose. I'll go loosen this one up at the same time. Okay. All right. So I found the best way is to use a bag to catch the oil. We know it's going to have oil coming out. That way no oil gets into the bilge. The bilge pump is secured, and I have absorbent rags in the bilge anyways. If there's any oily water, it'll absorb there. Alright, so just found a Ziploc bag, works really good. That one's still a little bit tight. Let's see if this one's a little bit easier to tighten and loosen. Alright, so I just gotta make sure the bag is up and tight all the way around. And I can already see the oil starting to seep out. I'm going to just let it catch in this bag. And you can see it's just pouring into the bag and not on the back of the engine or transmission.
So while that one sits there, you're going to loosen the other one a little bit?
Yeah, this one shouldn't, once I get this one off, oil shouldn't really purge out of this one too much, because all this housing oil is coming into this, out of this filter. Alright, it's slowed down, so I'm going to continue turning it, holding the bag, and the filter will just drop in there. And I've got a 5-gallon bucket I use for my oil filters. I'll set this in the 5-gallon bucket, invert it, drain all the oil out of it, and then I'll be able to dispose of the filter, and then all the oil that's been drained out, I'll put it into a bucket and then take that into recycle. A lot of turns on this fine threaded fitting. Almost there, but that's spinning real fast. It's kind of hard to grip it with the rubber glove in a while. Alright, here comes some more oil out of it. Set it right at the end. Leave that there and catch the rest that's draining. All right.
Yeah, we just leave it there and let it sit.
Yeah, watch it. So there's still a little bit of a stream coming through there. Just being patient, because the more I catch here, the less will drip down onto the other mat. And I'll go ahead and pre-fill these filters all the way, and I'll reinstall them. And it's starting to be less of a steady stream. I'm going to hold that, go grab another filter. Just confirm that it's the same 1268. Gasket looks good. Okay, I'm going to pull this out, and you'll see a little bit of a drip, but it's going to be enough to catch it. I'm going to go ahead and seal this up. You can see there was no spill at all from that, which is really cool. Clean my hands up real quick. Here's my new Earl. But I'll take just a little more as it's absorbing the oil. There's an outer and an inner chamber on it. Trying to get it in the outer too. Alright, that should be good there. I'll just make sure the other filter don't film. I was going to say, make sure the rubber is off there. Okay, the rubber's off. Oh, why that bag had a hole in it.
Uh-oh. So it's dripping all over.
Oh yeah.
You need your orange bucket.
I will.
Alright, so we cleaned up a little bit, and you tighten the other filter on, and getting ready to remove the filter on the left.
Okay, man. Most of the oil should be out, but still want a chance of this being a separate little chamber here. It's still holding some oil. this off. Catch any oil coming out. Not as much oil coming out that side. That's going to go into our
Home Depot bucket.
Homer bucket. All right. Just make sure the top feels good. The gasket's not there. Okay, 1268 looks good.
Noise is the neighbor's boat. They're just returning. They try to go out for a little bit, but the wind is just a little bit too strong for boating today. We've been sitting at the dock for, what, 6 hours? Waiting.
It's a good day to do maintenance on a boat. Okay, same thing, got a little oil on the gasket. I've caught, well, just 2 little drips that came out. Just gotta be careful, feel for the threads. These catch right away, so we know it's on. Smooth to turn. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out. These are the same thing, especially as soon as the rubber contacts the base, and then you turn it 3/4 of a turn.
So it doesn't tear the gasket.
Yeah, you don't want to over tighten it, but I've literally never over tightened. I've usually under tightened and they'll vibrate a little bit loose and you'll get a little bit of oil there. But I'm able to tighten with bare hands a little bit better. And the canister itself has a little bit of oil on it, so I'm going to try to dry it and then we'll start turning. Still has a little bit of ways to turn on it. That one's tight. Ooh. There we go. Doesn't leave you much room to get your hand in there. All right, so we've drained the oil. I'm going to close off our Verso here. I'll shut it off up here by the engine. These are full of oil now.
Yeah, right on there, old.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put these on the dock box and I'll take those to the store in the morning. So I know this is good oil. This is a waste oil. And then I've got, there's some other old oil here. You can tell because they're warm. And And I've got 3 brand new ones over here. So let me shut off the valve.
I'm gonna go ahead and
then I'll start filling oil.
Alright. So it's that blue valve. I'll go ahead and keep filming while you turn that off, and then we'll start up when you're putting the oil in the engine. You're just cleaning as he's going. It's a little bit easier. Can't really see from here. All right, so you're taking the oil cap off over there.
All right, so this is a standard way to fill them with oil instead of running it back through the pipes that have a bunch of dirty oil in it. And the next time we do this, we'll have nice, clean, painted bilges and deck plates, as that's going to be my project next week when we pull the boat out for some bottom work. I'll be able to take these deck plates out, sand them really well, and paint them. And then I'm going to continue working on cleaning up the engine a little bit. It's been painted over the years. A lot of the wires and all were painted, which I don't like. So I'll be cleaning those up, replacing some hoses.
You might need to do a voiceover for this one. You're too far away.
This one fills much faster because it's going right to the head and then right through the block and into the oil pan.
So that was an open container you had.
This was a brand new
Oh, that was
4
brand
liter
new.
or 4 quarts,
4 quarts.
1 gallon here, or 3.785 liters. Then I have the one that we were using to fill the filters. I'll use that to top it off, and that'll be my partial gallon of oil. Yeah. Alright, so there was an additional at least half a quart in each of those that I drained out. So I'm going to add at least another 1.5 quarts. This engine holds 13 quarts without measuring the external filters. Alright, we'll let that sit, and then my lovely assistants will show you where we check the dipstick at.
Oh, all right. All right, so I'm just gonna lift this up. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to lift that up, but all right. So I'm pulling this up and filming.
Okay, keep going. All the way. Okay, now turn it towards me if you can. Alright. Let's see if we can put it down this direction.
Oh, there's my hair. Push that out of the way.
Alright, go ahead and pull it up.
Alright.
Stop right there. Alright, it's being red, which is good. Go ahead, lower it down.
Come down?
Yep. Okay, it's enough on there that we'll go ahead and start it. We'll let it run for a minute or two, shut it off, let it sit, and then I'll reevaluate the level of water.
I'm getting our headphones because we do not want any miscommunications. So I don't think that. We do have an elevator on the boat. Head on down. We have our headphones on. I'm gonna head back up. I can hear him and he tells me to start the engine. If I need to shut it down, I can do so immediately. Mission on. Get back over here. Turn the key. Starting the engine. Engine started. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut off the engine by pushing this button. Engine is off. I'm gonna switch off the key and everything is off. All right, we are done. I'm done. All right, and that's just the seat making that noise. Oh. All right. So I thought I'd jump down here in the engine room to show you where Jim was at yesterday. In Marathon, he took out the floor mats since they were kind of oil soaked and not so pretty, and he's planning on sanding down the deck plates while I'm off the boat. The month of April, I'll be in Texas for a little bit, taking care of our bees, getting those bees installed in the hives. So if we're gonna go ahead and look over here, it's just a lot of storage, oil, spare parts, and I'm gonna spin around. Fuel tanks are over there on the side, and this is the generator. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump out of the bilge now. And so much for engine room yoga.